Which Muhammad Ali was better? Was it the 1960s Ali, who was quick on his toes, moved around well, went in ranged, fired off his combinations, and then got back out of range before you could counter? Or was it the 1970s Muhammad Ali, who was more versatile, could punch harder, was larger, more experienced, could take blows to the head and the face better? Now, a lot of people think it's the 1960s Ali. It's because he was quicker on his feet, because he could stay on his toes the whole time. He had his first very impressive win over Sonny Liston, who was considered to be invincible at the time after knocking out Floyd Patterson in the first fight to get the belt and then in the rematch. And also in the 1960s, Muhammad Ali was never beaten. So it's quite easy to look at the 1960s and say to yourself, yes, Muhammad Ali was definitely better in the 1960s. I mean, he hadn't been defeated, he was on his feet all the time, unlike when he came back in the 70s. In the 70s, he looked old, a lot of people said. Now, I personally think Muhammad Ali was better in the 1970s. I'm going to give my reasons for that. When Muhammad Ali fought in the 60s, he almost lost to Doug Jones. It was a close fight. Actually scored out a win to Muhammad Ali, but it was controversial at the time, probably because a lot of people wanted Muhammad Ali to lose. He won it, but it was a close fight. It was 6 rounds to 4 for Muhammad Ali. For his second fight after that, he fought a guy called Henry Cooper. Henry Cooper knocked him down quite viciously at the end of the round. A lot of people think if it wasn't for the bell, Muhammad Ali would have got knocked out in that fight when Henry Cooper came back in to land some more blows. So this is mainly the reason why people thought he had no chance against Sonny Liston, because Sonny Liston was a big puncher, taken out of there quite easily. But obviously he beat Sonny Liston. Now a lot of people say, well, yeah, he got knocked down by Henry Cooper, but he must have had a solid chin because he managed to get through the fight with Sonny Liston. Now, the reason he got through the fight with Sonny Liston was not because he had a solid chin at all. The reason he got through the fight with Sonny Liston, who was actually the only real big puncher Muhammad Ali faced in the 60s, you might say Cleveland Williams, but I'll get back to that in a minute. Sonny Liston was the biggest puncher, and Ali never got through that fight because of a solid chin. He got through that fight because of his stick and run tactics, his moving around, his keeping a distance all the time. He only coming in to get Sonny Liston in a counter through the right fast combinations and then getting back out again. Yes, when he was blinded, it would have been harder for him to stay away from punches, but he did manage it. He never took very many blows, even when he was blinded. He was very good on his feet, Ali, and that's what got him through the Sonny Liston fight. The Sonny Liston fight was really a big clash of styles. Sonny Liston had no chance against Muhammad Ali's quick stick and run style. That's what beat Sonny Liston. Now you'll obviously say, well, okay, he got knocked down by Henry Cooper. Maybe he didn't get through the fight with Sonny Liston because of that, but he went and faced Cleveland Williams, who was another big puncher of the 1960s. Now, the problem with Cleveland Williams is when Muhammad Ali fought Cleveland Williams, he was well past his best. He'd been out of the sport for 2 years before because he got gunshot by a policeman, and they had to remove 10, 13 feet of his intestine, remove a kidney. He had bad nerves damaged in his leg, and a lot of people say that was Muhammad Ali's best win. That was Muhammad Ali at his best. It wasn't Muhammad Ali at his best. When you read Muhammad Ali's autobiographies, they all state Cleveland Williams was shot, and Ali knew he was shot when he was going in the ring. Cleveland Williams was getting a good payday. He did earn his way back up to get a shot at Muhammad Ali, but that was not the same Cleveland Williams that Sonny Liston fought all them years ago twice and gave him a good fight. And here's a Carl Middleberger fight as well. Ali was doubled over, hurt to the stomach, so he did get hurt to the stomach a lot more as well. And he also fought a guy called Charlie Powell. Now, in the second round, Powell landed the right hand onto the left side of Cassius, and the youngster let out an oomph sound as the punch landed. For a moment, the eyes of Cassius teared up, and he needed a moment to catch his breath, as it was clear to observers at ringside that he had been winded. Now he's lucky that wasn't the same Muhammad Ali that faced George Foreman, because George Foreman was giving him really hard body blows. The Ali in the 1970s could take blows better to the face. He could take blows better to the body. He was more resistant. He was more robust. He was tougher. Muhammad Ali in the 70s was really tough, and the Muhammad Ali of the 60s was not so tough. I mean, there's a clear difference between the Muhammad Ali of the 60s and 70s. Now, the Muhammad Ali of the 60s wasn't very versatile at all. He used the same tactics in all his fights. He used the same tactics against tall fighters as he did against short fighters. He used the stick and run tactics, stayed out the road, flashy combinations to the head. That was Muhammad Ali. In the 1970s, he mastered clinching. Gave him a bit of rest, gave him more time, so he wouldn't sap his strength. Because in the 1960s, a lot of people said Muhammad Ali didn't get tired at all. Now, if you watch the Carl Middleberger fight, if you watch the Doug Jones fight, when Muhammad Ali was pushed to the limit, he's only human, of course he's going to get tired. And he did get tired in them fights. I mean, you can find fights, just like I said, watch the Carl Middleberger fight. I think he got tired to even the end of the Ernie Terrell fight, even though he's pretty much dominating Ernie Terrell, and the Doug Jones fight the last couple of rounds. So in the 1970s, Ali had overcame that. He'd used the clinching tactics, he lay against the ropes. He wasn't just more versatile in that way as well. He fought, who have I got? Alvin J. Lewis, I think his name was. Not actually got it with me right now. But in that fight, he was presented with a guy the same size as him, weighed more than him, and Ali decided to go to the body. And it was I think it's his heaviest knockout against Alvin J. Lewis. He's a big guy. So he used completely different tactics for that. When he came up against George Foreman, did he use the stick and run tactics like he said he would? No. He lay against the ropes, he came up, he was clever, he was versatile, he was robust. That Muhammad Ali managed to outbox George Foreman. It wasn't just a case of laying against ropes and taking a beating. I think Ali won 6 of the 8 rounds. I think he got knocked out in the 8th round, so I think George Foreman won 2 of the rounds in that fight, and that was it. And yeah, he was clearly getting outboxed. Muhammad Ali could just throw combinations at will, and he was a superior tactics. I mean, he could change his style according to who he was fighting. Now, another proof that he was better is because just look at the fighters he fought in the 1970s compared to the 1960s. The only real good fighters he fought in the 1960s was Sonny Liston and Ernie Terrell. In my opinion, like really good, real proper heavyweights. In the 1970s, a completely different story. He fought Joe Frazier, Olympic gold medalist, fought a giant Russian who was about 6'4" and outweighed him, knocked him out, and he beat Buster Douglas. Buster Mathis, sorry, a prime Buster Mathis. Then, and Buster Mathis was quick on his feet, he could punch hard, he was huge, he was like 250 pounds. And then he beat George Foreman, another Olympic gold medalist, beating people from all around the world in the Olympics. He knocked out George Foreman and Joe Frazier in the second round. He looked unbeatable. Ken Norton. Okay, he lost to Ken Norton the first time, but in the second round, I know it was a split. In the second fight, I know it was a split decision, but I think Ali properly outboxed Ken Norton. I think should have been a unanimous decision that Ali beaten Ken Norton. Joe Buckner, can't pronounce his name. Sorry. He was another really big guy. He was larger than Ali, had a longer reach than Ali, taller than Ali. He managed to outbox him as well. Ron Lyle, another big solid puncher, almost had George Foreman knocked out. Ali beat him as well. Also, there was a really awkward Jimmy Young, really awkward boxer back in the 1970s. He was beating people that should have been hammering him easily, like George Foreman. He actually beat George Foreman, and Muhammad Ali beat him as well. I mean, all these kind of guys, everyone in the 1970s seemed to struggle with somebody, but Muhammad Ali managed to beat them all. And that's why I think Muhammad Ali was far better in the 1970s. So Share your thoughts in the comment section. Tell me which Ali do you think was better in the 1960s or 1970s, and give your reason why.